Hi guys, Jared here with Day Traders FX. Hopefully you guys are having a great week and ready to end a good, solid, strong week. We've got a couple of great things to look at. Quickly here, just a look at quick glance at the U.S. markets. They've been down and down, and it seems like I'm maybe my memory's getting bad, but I'm having trouble remembering when we had a positive day in the Dow or S&P. So they've just been down a little bit or down a lot every day, and today was one of those down a little bit days. Also, in the way of U.S. news, we saw that unemployment claims came out much worse than expected, uh, a decent amount. Usually it's in the 300s. I always look for those 300 forecast numbers. You can see the last month's number was 361, and that got revised up just a little bit from 355, and this month was expected about 372, and I haven't seen it in the 400 plus area for a little while either. So it's kind of been bad for the U.S. The last week or so. It's been pretty hard. As far as news goes tonight, UK session, and tomorrow US session, nothing. We have no news. It's just a pretty flat day as far as that calendar goes. So let's get right into this euro dollar. We have a couple of excellent things to look at on the euro dollar. One being, let's look at this right here. So we had this nice big reversal candle on the 1 hour chart, which held as long as it could, and it finally gave way right here, which was also the 200-day moving average. We've had several failures off this 200-day moving average, and finally we got an open above that. It ran up, and a little consolidation, a little bounce right on the 200-day moving average, and here it goes once again. So 127.77 is actually a much more significant level than it appears to be on the 1 hour chart. If we look at it on the slightly larger time frames, we can see that on the 4 hour chart, it also nicely coincides. So from this high, which is about October, 15th, 16th, 17th, right around there, to the low of just a little bit ago. So we're looking at about a several week range right here. The euro has been retracing and running up since this low, and this 127.77 is the 23% fib. That's about 70, 72, 73. Regardless, though, the market has been unable, since coming off this low, it's made several attempts at breaking that 23% fib and has been unable to do so. So what we have here, if you guys remember, and I talk about this over and over and over again, this is a buying opportunity right here, because if we get a close, which it looks like we very likely will, if we get a close above 127.77, that puts the 38% fib nicely in target. And this 38% fib is right around 128.43, and that's also very nice for our 200-day moving average, which is about 128.46. So that's where I have this kind of, if I can get that going. Oh, I guess I can't. The 128.50 / 200-day moving average / 38% fib. So this is a great target to aim for on euro dollar with an open above 127.77 on this 4 hour chart. That's what we need to see happen for a nice little move up to continue. So that's what we're looking for. Again, it keeps the pair very bullish with that open above 127.77, and we target again about 128.40.50 in that area. But we did see a very nice little run up to 12800 and a reversal off that, and now we're staying above the 200-day moving average. So again, next stop is it's going to be a bit of a struggle because of all these little sub levels we have all the way up 128, 25, 30, 35. Those are all going to be kind of tricky, but ultimately I'm aiming for 38% fib, and we'll play it safe at about 128.40 just to make sure. But that's what I'm aiming for. So that gives us, above this level, that gives us a pretty nice little run of around 60 pips. So that's what I'm looking for in the short term. Okay, pound dollar, nothing too interesting on the pound dollar. It's very choppy. It's consolidating between 38 and 50% fib on the daily chart. It's consolidating below the 200-day moving average on the daily chart. It's way below the 200-day moving average here. I think we'll probably see a little run up towards the 1 hour 200-day moving average, which is around 129.20, right below this weekly pivot. And ultimately, I am aiming for the weekly pivot as a retracement zone. The pound dollar has made a couple of attempts at getting higher, and it just doesn't seem to be able to. So I think once it catches a little bit of bid, we'll make a run into that 200-day moving average / weekly pivot point. So it's kind of what I'm looking for, but overall there's nothing super interesting. We have a nice little reversal candle right here, but it just doesn't get me excited about this pound dollar yet. So I'm probably going to stay out of it. Just kind of giving you a little overview of a level I may be watching there. Euro yen, nice little reversal pattern up here. We're starting to see some new highs and negative candles. These are all things that get interesting. Below about 103.50, I think this pair starts to get a little bit bearish, and I think we're going to start catching a little bit of downside. We have a nice reversal candle right here, so as long as 10400 holds, which is about 25 pips above current market price right now, then I think we're going to start to see a little bit of a run back towards this missed pivot here, which is 101.80. So 101.80 being a nice, clearly missed pivot. We missed that one by 20 pips or so. Gives us a very nice kind of soft target for the euro yen to kind of start working its way back to. So again, below about 103.50, I think we start to pick up a bit of downside, and we'll likely head into that 101.80. And just out of curiosity, I haven't even done this yet. From this crazy run up that we've seen, 101.80 is just about the 61% fib retracement. So good little area to aim for. Now remember, the yen pairs are selling off, or the yen itself is selling off like crazy because of the government shake-up that they've had, and a new potential prime minister and elections and so on, and it's just become a mess. And so all the yen pairs have just fallen through the floor, and we're seeing everything rally against the yen. So that's kind of where that's coming from. But again, nice reversal pattern below 10400. Remember, this is a nice double top, or more triple top, but at least a big recent double top right here. And it's had to, the yen has run a long ways with very little retracement. This is like a just a big, long, getting wobbly kind of movement here that I just don't know if we're going to have a huge amount of momentum to be able to make it through 10400. So keep an eye on that, and let's look for this retracement to start happening towards that missed pivot of 101.80. Aussie dollar. I like the Aussie dollar a lot. If you look at this right here, the Aussie has nice 1 hour or nice daily pin bar right here, and it's run down to the 200-day moving average, and it started to bounce off the 200-day moving average from the daily chart and the ascending trend line. So that's a great little area. So what I'm looking to do here, I'll be just dead honest, blunt, is remember the level that we were talking about, 10400. This was our sell zone. It sold nicely down through this area. And now I'm looking for some retracement to short once again just below the 200-day moving average. You can see the 200-day moving average on the 4-hour chart's about 103.65, and you can see we've got some lows and some just congestion through there. So right around about 103.50 to 60 area is where I'm looking to short the Aussie dollar and re-enter to again short here. And I'm going to have some pretty large stops. So between this 103.50, 60 area, I'm going to have stops above 10400. So just be ready for some larger stops on that. And I'm looking to short this down into about 102.50-ish area. So just kind of keep that in mind, but that's definitely what I'm looking for right now. Gold's been hopping around. It's just chopping around in this area. We'll keep an eye on what gold does, but so far it's been a little bit boring. It hasn't done much, just kind of very choppy, very messy, but it seems to be capping out just a little bit below about this 1730. So we'll see how things end up going. But it looks a little bit bearish. We'll see how much retracement we have in there. And then last but not least, Aussie yen. Nice double top here, 8400. We'll see if this guy can hold. We have a nice bearish engulfing candle right here. And so let's see if this thing can hold. So below about 8400, I think it starts to calm down and give us a little bit of a rundown. But again, we've got to make sure that the yen can stabilize a little bit. It's been crazy. You can see these yen pairs have just rallied like mad. Because of this political turmoil they have going on. So not too much of a surprise there. So let's see if things can kind of turn around and start heading back down and give us a move on some of these reversals. But again, gunning for about 128.40-ish on the euro dollar. And on several of these other pairs. So pause the video, rewind it, make sure you got these levels marked and you're ready for these movements. So best of luck, everyone. We'll see you in the chat. And remember to follow me on Twitter at daytradersfx.com. Thank you very much. Have a great day.